What's up, guys? Steve Brayton here to share with you guys 3 moves that I would recommend that you changed while doing this program that I found that has helped me a tremendous amount, being that I've done this program so many times. I've definitely learned a lot, and these 3 things are definitely something that have helped me while doing this program. And then, of course, I'm going to share with you guys my end of week 2 results.
Hey, I'm on top, really I'm on top. Yeah, whole crew on top, really we on top. Wake up every morning with drive, been on the grind, know I had to survive, we had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble, I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble, letting the air out, walking with a clear route. How we gon' rise today? I'm making mine today, go make yours. Double back and flip the proceeds. Last year on the corner sipping OE, had to get off the block. Best friend smoking rock, best man called the cops. Rose from the city that never sleeps, it's the melting pot. I came through with purpose, I never question if it's worth it. Homie, I'm on top, really we on top. I'm on top, see me, I'm on top. We on top, whole crew on top. I can't stop, I'm on top, see me, I'm on top. Nigga, I'm on top, I'm on top, whole crew on top. Really, I'm on top, I never stop. Born from the belly of the beast, from the streets, had to make it.
What's up, guys? This week was difficult, like every week, right? But it does get easier, right? You guys know I came out of a little bit of a dark place like a month ago because we're dealing with infertility, and just to give you guys an update on that, unfortunately, it was a big fat negative with my wife being pregnant last week. Last week she went in to do an IUI. I forget what that stands for. IUI is pretty much where they take your shit and they put it right where it needs to go, you know, in a catheter. They take it up there and they put it right where it needs to go and just kind of like help things move along a little bit, you know. And unfortunately, that round of IUI was negative, so that sucks. But staying positive, and yeah, you can only do so much. That's why working out and just being healthy right now is more important than ever, you know. So I have a lot of reasons as to why I need to get my shit together, you know. When I was in a dark place like a month ago, and when I say dark place, I'm not talking about like super depression or nothing like that, but it's just been, I haven't been able to like really give it my all with my workouts. My eating wasn't the greatest, you know what I mean? Like I kind of just was slipping up a little bit, but I always did get in my workout because my workouts do help me a lot with pretty much anything that I deal with in life, you know. Workouts are pretty much like therapy for me, so. But yeah, so just to give you guys an update on that, because I know some of you guys were curious about that. I'll be sure to keep giving you guys updates regarding that and on our journey, you know. I'm hoping that we make some shit happen with having a kid this year. That would be great. So we'll see what happens. So I will keep you guys informed and updated on that. Yeah, this week was a little difficult, you know, because it is getting warmer out. It's gonna be like what, 60, almost 60 degrees next week. That's crazy. But you're gonna start smelling the grill. You're gonna start having all these temptations. Shit's gonna get harder. So, you know, if you're thinking about getting in shape now, right now is more important than ever, because if you can kind of get the ball rolling and get that momentum going and start seeing results, it's only gonna make it that much easier to avoid those temptations and to, like, you know, stay away from the shit that's gonna just bring you right the fuck down. It's always great when you're having it, you know, like the burger, the brat, whatever, but then how long does that really last? That's what I always think about. How long is it gonna seriously last where you're enjoying yourself? What, 5 fucking minutes, you know, 10 minutes, 15? And then it's over, and then you feel like shit, and then you regret it. So, is it worth it? Big fat no, absolutely not. Is it worth eating clean and having a cheat day on a Saturday? Oh, fuck yeah. Every Saturday when I wake up, it's like Christmas morning. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys an update on that, and let's talk about those 3 tips, shall we? So the first thing that I would recommend that you definitely start doing right away while doing this program is when you're doing a calf raise, I would make sure to elevate your foot as much as you, well, not as much as you can, but just high enough to where you can get that full range of motion with your calf. You know, you want to have that full stretch on the way down, and then you want to have that full flex at the top. You know, that's how you build muscle, you know, stretch and then pump it full of blood, you know, repeat, you know, that's what you have to do to build muscle. So to get that full range of motion, it's absolutely vital. And when you're not using a dumbbell, you are like literally doing half reps. So definitely recommend, if you guys are, obviously you guys are doing this program, make sure to use a dumbbell or something. You don't have to use a dumbbell, but that's just what I'm using. But just use something to elevate your foot so you can get that full range of motion. And this goes too for like standing calf raise, make sure to stand on something to do the same thing when you're doing your calf raises. It definitely helps you get to failure a lot quicker. You might not be able to do as much weight, obviously, because it's harder, but that's what you want, So, yeah, definitely recommend. The next thing, pullover. The pullover was really difficult for me for a long time to get to failure, because every time I did the pullover using whatever weights I have, I never felt like I could really get to failure, because you got to remember when you're doing a pullover, what weight you're doing is divided by 2, because like say if you're doing 70-pound dumbbells or a 70-pound dumbbell with a pullover like they're doing on the program, or I don't know what they're doing in the program, definitely not 70, but whatever dumbbell that you're using, you have to divide that weight by 2, and that's, you're working both sides of your lats, so technically you're only doing 35 pounds if you're using a 75 or a 70-pound dumbbell on each side. You're only doing 35 pounds, so it's not that much weight, so for me it was really difficult to get to failure, and it was really difficult to even get to failure using 75-pound dumbbells, so I had to figure something out to get to that failure. And that, like I said, it took me a while to figure this out. I'm not sure why. But hey, light went off, and then I'm like, hey, why don't I just use a bar? So I started using this bar, and that allows me to obviously add on plates instead of just using a dumbbell. And if you had bigger dumbbells, obviously using a dumbbell is just fine. I wouldn't really say that there's a huge benefit, one versus another if it's the same weight. If you had a 75 pounds on a bar or a dumbbell that was 75 pounds, which one's better? I wouldn't really say one's better than the other. The only reason why I'm saying using the bar is just to, like I said, get more weight so you can get to failure, because doing this move and getting to failure is huge. This will help you be able to do pull-ups better if you're struggling with doing pull-ups, all that stuff. So getting to failure on this move is absolutely important. But one thing I want to warn you about, if you guys are going to try this, make sure to start out light. So if you're using dumbbells now and you want to do this too and go to a bar, make sure that you honestly maybe even do the same weight than that you were doing when you're using the dumbbells, just so you don't like get injured or something, because it's still new, it's different, and it might be harder for you to use the bar versus the dumbbell. You know what I mean? So just be careful, because obviously doing this move, if you don't have a spotter or anybody behind you, you can only imagine how much that would suck if if you couldn't get it back up. There's no bar there to like stop it from hitting the floor, so I don't even want to think about how bad that injury would be. So just be very careful. And the same thing could really technically happen using a dumbbell too. So I wouldn't really say one's more dangerous than the other than the fact that you're just doing more weight, of course. But yeah, so just be careful doing it. But it's definitely something that has helped me a tremendous amount getting to failure when doing this move. So the next thing I want to share with you guys is the overhead tricep extension. This is something that I'm doing now in place of the dips on the bench. The reason why I'm replacing the overhead tricep or the dips with the overhead tricep extension is just because I've noticed that doing the dips, I just started to feel a little bit sore. Not a good sore, but just an uncomfortable, like my joint was just having pains. Obviously that's not a good sign. So whenever you guys are starting to feel any pain, you got to stop doing what you're doing, obviously, and then figure out what's going on, and don't keep going. Don't just push through if it's like a pain that doesn't feel right. Like you guys know the difference between a muscle pain and a joint pain, right? It's not a good feeling. So just make sure that if you guys are starting to have those pains, think about what you're doing and stop doing it, and then maybe try to come up with an alternative move to avoid having to do that like that. You can still do those muscles. Literally, whatever move it is that or whatever muscle it is that you're working, there's always an alternative move that we can do to still work that muscle. So it's not like you're missing out. So don't feel like you're missing out by not doing that move with the dips. But yeah, that's what I do because I've noticed that my shoulder last year, like mid last year, because of a motocross accident, go figure, right? My shoulder was just a little sore. So yeah, that definitely helped me a lot by doing this tricep overhead extension. So so yeah, those are the 3 things that I would recommend that you change. And then the last thing I want to share with you guys, got something in my throat, is planks. You know, planks. I'll probably say this more than once in some of my videos because it's so important. But planks are really important. So I just want to remind you guys that I do planks every day. As you guys see me get shredded as shit, planks are a huge part to thank for that. Is I've actually started to put weight on my back and on my side because I've been going upwards to 5 minutes on these planks, which is a good problem to have. So, but anyways, who wants to sit there for 5 minutes? So what I do now on my regular plank, I have my wife actually sit on my back. Here's me doing a plank, obviously using a weight, but you know, if you're doing planks and you can't hit a minute doing a plank, you know, when it comes to the forward and then both sides, you don't need to add weight, you know. But one thing that I found to be kind of annoying with plank is when you do get stronger in your midsection, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you're kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs for like 5 fucking minutes, right? I mean, who wants to do that? Because I think my longest plank before I started adding weights, I was doing like 6 fucking minutes. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there for 6 minutes, you know, and it just didn't feel like it was doing much. So when you're trying to build muscle, you don't want to do things for a long extended period of time. So yeah, like running, you know. So planks, I'd recommend once you hit a minute, you know, I would recommend adding some weight, but kind of like I said with the pullover, start small. Add a very, very little bit of weight. You know, you can see how I'm, you know, putting the weight on my back right now. I'm taking everything slow. I'm being very careful. You know, don't just whip around the weights. Just be careful with everything you're doing, especially when you're doing new moves. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So those 3 things, the calf raises, you know, getting that full range of motion, doing the pullover, you know, with the bar instead of a dumbbell, huge, helped me get to failure a lot quicker. And then the overhead tricep extension I'm doing now instead of the dips on the bench. So I hope those things, you guys give a try. I really do think that those things will help you tremendously. And then of course, you know, adding in the planks every day, I would recommend that you do that. But right now, I'm gonna share with you guys my results. So here we go. Here's my results right now. As of this moment, I'm not really sure what my results are. Again, because my wife doesn't get home until later. This week I did decide to add a little bit more carbs into my diet just because I wanted to kind of like really explode with my weights and get back to my old weights that I was lifting like over a month ago. So I felt it. It definitely helped me out this week with adding some more carbs into my diet and my meal planning. So that was nice. So with that being said, I'm not sure where my weight's going to be. I think that my weight is probably either going to stay the same or maybe go up a little bit. But I do think that my measurements will probably go down just a little bit. And then I do think that my percentage of body fat is going to go down as well. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see if I'm right. So if you're looking at it right now and what I said is right, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But if not, oh well. One thing you guys got to remember is that I'm not here to like, you know, give you perfect either. I mean, shit, I might even have stuff come up to where I'm like, oh fuck man, I didn't get results this week because this happened. You know, like whatever, shit's gonna happen. I'm not here to give you guys like perfect either. You know, in fact, I don't want to say I hope something happens, but if something does happen, then, you know, I'm going to show you guys that, hey, you know, you just gotta push through. You got to keep going. You got to keep showing up, and you got to keep going, you know, because like I talk about a lot in a lot of my videos is that, you know, you can't expect to get in shape or get to your results and expect nothing to happen during that time. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they wait to start a program because they have this going on or that going on, or they're working a lot, or this is going on. It's like, I understand that, and I'm not saying they're not legit reasons per se, but one thing you have to remember is that if you keep using those things, you're never going to get to your goal, because let's give you an example of just saying that you are at your results right now. You're exactly, like you could go on Google right now and find a body type or a body that you want and say, this is what I want, and then boom, you have it, okay? Now, say if those things that held you back from starting before happen now. Are you just gonna throw away those results? No, of course not. You're gonna figure it out, and you're gonna keep going because you got those results that you finally wanted for however many years. You're not just gonna throw it away because, you know, you got up to hours at work or whatever. You're gonna make it work. You know, like you have to just make it work, and it's, you know, some of these workouts, they're not crazy long. They're only like 30, 50 minutes. You don't have to do extra stuff, you know. Sometimes I do extra stuff, but I don't always do extra stuff. But you just gotta fit it in your daily lifestyle, you know, like you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you work out, that's it, you know. You don't skip taking a shower because your hours went up at work, right? You know, you don't like, I mean, you just gotta treat it like that. Like it's part of your job, you know, like, so if you work, like I said in my last video, I say this all the time, because it's true, and this is my mindset when I think about working out, but if you work 8 to 4, pretend you work 8 to 5. You know, just have it be part of something that you just do, no questions asked. You don't not show up for work, right, because you have a lot going on at home, right? No, you go to work because you have to and you need money. Well, you also need your health, right? So things are gonna happen, is the moral story here. Things are gonna happen, things are gonna come up. You just gotta continue to keep showing up and just make it part of your daily lifestyle, you know? And getting in the habit of working out with every single person that I bring onto my team is what I help them with the most, because it's that holds people back. You know, for the most part, a lot of us, we kind of know what is good and what is bad when it comes to food, right? I mean, for the most part. So, you know, eating is definitely something that I help out a lot with, and I do meal plans, and all that stuff is in there, you know, like shit tons of meal plans, and that stuff's great. But the biggest thing that people love about the team is just the team atmosphere and just having that accountability and just being a part of a team, honestly, you know, because it's not so much the eating, it's more so the showing up every day and just getting it to be in your daily lifestyle, just showing up in the gym. Once you can show up in the gym and you get that shit mastered down where you're working out consistently, you know, eating better, I swear to you, will come naturally. It will. That's why, honestly, more focus is more about motivating the people in my team and just keeping them accountable and giving them motivation. All this stuff I'm giving you right now, honestly. This is stuff that I do pretty much on the daily inside my team. So I would say that's like the biggest struggle people have, you know? The eating, like I said, is something that you should just try to learn as you go. You're not gonna learn eating like right away when you start. It's just not gonna happen. Because you're transitioning into a new lifestyle. So it's not gonna happen right away. It's just not. But the workouts, that's hard because you are having to just, you know, change just like that. That's difficult to do. If you haven't been working out and now you gotta dedicate 30 to 50 minutes every day. So that's what people struggle with at the most at the beginning. So that's what my focus is with people just entering into the team at first, because if you can't work out and you can't get in the gym, that's honestly, when it comes to all this, that's kind of like the easy part. The food, that's difficult, you know, but I would say, you know, just showing up and getting in the gym should be the easy part. And if you can't do that, you know, there's no point in talking about food yet, you know? So, but that's all I got for you guys. Next week, I'm gonna share with you guys some other good tips and let you guys know where I'm at. Good stuff to come, you guys. We'll talk to you later. See you next time.
You can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Been way down, never falter. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention, cause I ain't repeating. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go.
go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here.